What it do, gang gang. Or not gang gang. But anyways, I'm at the spot. Look at the sky. Ah! Ah! Anyways. I don't have socks right now that are clean, so I'm walking with no socks. And it like rained yesterday. So it's kind of gross. Up. But I mean, I could like wash my socks and wait, or like not wait. So I'm living dangerously today. For some reason, there's some bench at the bottom of the hill, and it's assembled correctly. So I don't even know what's up with that. Anyways, you know what it is. I decided. Oh, look at that sun. Ooh wee. Anyways. Gorgeous. Fantastico. Anyways, alright. I'm doing a review on the book. I listened to the audiobook. I did not read it, but I like listening to audiobooks better. But I will read a book when it's like mad good, because it is better. But there's not too big. I mean, there's a big difference between a book is customized to you and it's like you're getting a direct translation. But I mean, I like audiobooks, and I can like, even if the voice actor is portraying a character in a certain light, I'll hear a different thing. Like I'll just like, I don't know, I can do that where I can't like some people, they can listen to audiobooks and they have like one kind of frame of mind. Now whatever the story is, that's what I hear. Even if the voice actor is portraying a character a different way, I just auto-translate it in my head. So that being said, The Stand. Da-na-na-na. 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 It's by Stephen King. Off the rip, it's a masterpiece. Yep, a masterpiece. Yep, like straight up, clean up and down, a masterpiece. An all-timer. Top of the list, top of the line, elite, upper echelon, whatever you want to call it. This joint is a masterpiece. I don't even know where to begin. I'm not going in all the characters of Stu and Franny and Nadine and Alex and all that jazz. Nah, like, if you're a diehard fan, you already know about it. If you don't know nothing about it, then you're gonna like actually read it or audiobook it or whatever, and you'll enjoy it yourself. I'm not here to and I don't think that's not what to me, I don't think that's not what the story doesn't encapsulate like the characters necessarily. Like the characters are important in the story, but it's kind of a showcase and a statement piece of stinking Stephen King. He's out here to show that he's stinking Kyrie, like, who's like, when you watch Kyrie Irving play basketball, it's beautiful, it's art. Like, it transcends the game of basketball, and just watching him move is gorgeous, it's amazing, it's a story in itself, and it's breathtaking. Just his movements. Like, you could tell it's been crafted, it's been worked on. It's a professional being a professional, and we're talking about a legend, one of the elite. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about Stephen Stinking King, who showed up and he did his job, and he's great. He like that. That's the only way. You have to say great. Yeah, like, to say anything less than great is disrespectful to Stephen King and everything that he's done. Again, I'm not a horror guy. I don't really care that much, but it is a horror because just like his style of writing is so detailed, but it also, like, you have to put your fear into this, which is why I would say it's horror, because you have to put your fear, your energy of fear, your fears into this book to really make it a scary book. Like, I don't have that, no offense, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I don't got that. I believe in God, and not that you can't fear if you don't have God, but just I fear God, and all my faith is in God, and there's no fear in me because I just give it to Jesus. And I don't have nothing to put in there, and also I don't want to do that. Still, you can still enjoy the book, and it's still a masterpiece without having. But that's just his style of writing. It's like every single sentence is woven inside every single sentence is like, are you scared? Are you scared? Are you scared? Throughout the entire book. And I feel like that's what really like makes Stephen King one of the greats, is that he's able to write but ingrain something else into his writing. And you can just tell, like, it's not even just like palpable, it's just there. Like it's as you're reading it, you get the vibe, you know. And he takes his time to really set up the environment. He takes his time to establish everything. He said, this is where we're at. You're not going anywhere else. You're here, right here in this book. And before we go anywhere, you're gonna know that this is now the reality that you're in of this novel. And now we're gonna go through my world. I set the dictations, I set the parameters, I'm setting the environment. This is my world, this is the world I created, and all the rules, all your thinking now funnels through this world, okay? So now you get to enjoy it. And I feel like that's what makes it like, and there's not one necessary, and it's kind of hard, but like there's so much good things in this book that make it a masterpiece. And it's long. For me, audiobooking it is like 47 hours. For them speed readers, probably like 4 or 5 days or something like that. A regular person, maybe 3 weeks, a month. But I mean, it's long, but like Way of Kings is long too, and I like Way of Kings. We got a runner and we got people stretching on the right here. Anyways, The Stand. Yeah, Stephen King's writing is so masterful, and it's just so world class that I'm speechless. I'm left speechless. That's how good this book is. And my arm's getting tired. I'm 7 minutes in, and I haven't even talked about the characters or the thing. It's just to highlight Stephen King's and his like OP writing skills. And it's good. And I don't even know if it's like more descriptive. It's just it's visceral, like with the lining of horror inside. It's a visual writing style with the lining of horror and also like awareness. Like it's just very aware of itself. It's aware of where it's going. Like I said, like you're in the world and it knows you're in the world and you're kind of following it. It's like you're in one of those scary haunted houses or whatever. If you're like in one of those haunted houses, you're just, you paid your money and you're ready for the experience. And that's what reading a novel by Stephen King is. It's you paid your money and now you're gonna get your money's worth. It's gonna go above and beyond your expectations with this visceral storytelling, like with the with sewed in that visual storytelling is horror, like scariness, your worst fears, the things the secrets you have, the all that stuff, that feeling, those emotions. That's what's in this story, and it's good. Like and to talk about the story 8 minutes in because of Stephen King's writing is just so good. It's a post-apocalyptic story of what happens when you have it's windy. So there's basically this disease, airborne disease, I think, I think it's airborne, but basically there's the people who survive are basically like immune, I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, you can read it, and if you're like a diehard, then you're gonna like scoff, and I don't care. Like it's a review, anyways. I listened to it when I was going from like PA to Kansas with like a busted neck, Pennsylvania to Kansas with like a busted neck, but in my car, and I was basically stuck in my car. But anyways, shout out Nicole, it was a good recommendation. Anyways, what else am I saying? Yeah, so it's basically a post-apocalyptic story of like basically this disease that basically wipes out the entire world. It doesn't matter who it came from. I don't think it talks about it in the story, but I'm giving you a summarization, not a whole like Falapa things. Basically, this airborne disease wipes out everybody. It's a post-apocalyptic world, post-apocalyptic world, and basically all these survivors are migrating to, I'm pretty sure it's the West Coast, somewhere in the West Coast, Nevada, or I forget where it was. What? It doesn't really matter. Okay. Anyways. And some people are following this lady named Sister Abigail, which is like the Christian, Judeo-Christian like lady, which represents good. And then there's this bad guy, which essentially is Lucifer, the Satan, the devil, the deceiver. The bad guy, whose name is Randall Flagg. And he's actually a later villain throughout the universe of Stephen King or whatever. But anyways, they also call him the Walking Dude, which is, they do it so dirty and so mysterious and so bad in a good way. Like, he's such a villain. I don't think he's the greatest villain, honestly, but the way they characterize him and the way they hype him up is is done very well. But anyways, so you basically got this all the survivors are, you're either following good or evil. You're either following Sister Abigail or Abigail Freeman, or Freemandale, and then you're following Randall Flagg, and Randall Flagg is a bad guy. Like, there's no excuse. Like, he's a bad guy. If you're following him, you're bad. Like, there's no excuse to go like, oh, maybe they had an opportunity. Basically, it's, you're choosing the dark side or you're choosing the good side, and that's really what happened. And it's just like, basically, then Randall Flagg is like gathering this military, basically. They're basically preparing for war to wipe out one another, and that's pretty much the story. But that's only like an element of the story. Like, a lot of the story is basically like, it's really like, I don't know. The writing itself and the plot is just so good. There's so much to go around. That's why I'm having a difficulty of really like picking one specific thing about this book, because there's so much to go around. The plot is rich. I wouldn't even say it's rich. It's just, I can't even describe it. It's just, man, I can't even think of a word to describe Stephen King's writing. It's complex. Like, you could even say, like, it's just so, it's so realistic, but it's not. It's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like there's so many, like, it's not even that there's that much layers or things like that. It's just, there's so much to go around. There's so much to view. The world itself is so fascinating and so detailed that there's so much, like, there's so much to go around. Every single character from stinking Stu to Nina to Nadine to stinking Franny to stinking Alex to like Harold to be, every single one of the characters has their own has, I don't even know, like, it's very hard to describe because it's so unique and it's so detailed. I guess that's what I'm going to focus on. It's very, very, very detailed, and it is like very visceral. So like, and they say this kind of like about Ken Follett. It's like a lot of the book in reality is just walking around and exploring stuff and following these characters, but everything is so visceral. You're just kind of going along and seeing what's like the story itself. If you would boil the story down without the writing of Stephen King and the visceralness of it, it's not that thick. It's not that deep. Like, it's not like if another writer does it, it's not as good, because the biggest part about this story is how visceral it is. Like, honestly, the story itself, once you break it down, is not the greatest story in the world. It's the reveal and the walkthrough of this visceral world that Stephen King imprints on you, and it's in land with this horror, which keeps people on their toes. It keeps them moving. It keeps the people who like horror entertained. And that's The Stand. Like, it's basically this post-apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic world, post-apocalyptic world where these characters, all these survivors are traveling, and you get to spend time with these characters and care for these characters and relate to the characters because they're realistic human characters. And like I know people like the characters, but these characters in reality, I'm being welcome to Stinking Midnight Runs, baby. We don't give you soft cuts out here. We're not fanboy chum chum unless the movie's Tenet or Stinking Casablanca, okay? Anyways, listen, it's good, but the characters ain't that deep. They ain't the greatest characters in the world. The plot is not there to rock your socks off, okay? It's Stephen King who stinking pulls off his best Nick Cage, and he stinking carries this story and makes you care about all the characters because it's like gossip. That's what this story, that's why it's so stinking good. It's like, you know, when you hear somebody gossiping, bro, I don't care who you are, how good you think you are, how dignified you are. No. If people be gossiping, or you got some loud person in the mall telling their whole life story, bro, you listening. I don't care who you are, whether you want to or not, you listening to this gossip. And that's what this book, that's kind of what Stephen King can do. He can make you, he's like, this whole story is this visceral world with this horror in it. And all these characters, it's like gossip. It's like, I'm hearing everything about their lives, and I know exactly who these characters are. I'm interested. Like, what's going on? Oh man, and it's like, so basically, if I go off screen for you, it's like, no. My baby dad had all this drama, and then he like, you're listening. Even if you don't see my face, it's just you're interested. That's what this story does. But it also has this visceral storytelling with horror in it, and it's really, really good. Like, and like the themes are really good. It's basically like good versus evil. It touches on like a lot of different things, which makes it really fun. And I obviously, it's a masterpiece, and I recommend it. Even if you don't like horror, which I don't like horror, just respect for a world-class writer and able to appreciate it. And I would listen to this audiobook again. I don't like horror, so I'm probably not gonna do it anytime soon. But I think it's just so good. It's great, and you consume great content. And it is a fun book if you like horror. Regardless, you should read this book. You should audio this book. There's a TV show. Watch a TV show. Get into this because it's really, 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 real good. And what else? Do I need to touch on anything else? Nope, that's it. Anyways, The Stand, masterpiece.